Yay, now we're live. Welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday. Woo!
We're going to do some fun stuff right now.
Oh my God.
That's who we love and that's who we serve.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, man, it's been a weird but fun day.
How dare you?
Yeah, okay. All
Running out. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this beat is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying, stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you very much.
right. Okay. I couldn't find the somebody messaged me, said, how am I doing? And should I tell him? Oh, never mind. David Lovato. Do you know any David Lovato?
Nope.
Oh, no. Okay, I'll get back to you later, David Lovato. How are you doing? He probably wants to sell me something. It's on Messenger, so oh well. Anyway, to the show at hand. At 2 minutes after. Want to welcome everybody. Hey, I was listening to Chris James yesterday, and he was saying something about when he got to about 10,000 people, that's when Facebook, YouTube started saying, hold on now. We don't think we want to share your information to all your people, unless maybe in Facebook you pay. And then when he got to 25,000, he started getting shadowed. So what we need you people to do, because we had another subscriber yesterday, we need all 1,069 of you to go to info@InnervisionFM. That's info@InnervisionFM. We are building a community where we want to get your input. Maybe 9 o'clock in the morning is not the best time. Maybe you're at work at 9 o'clock in the morning and you get to see the show afterwards. Maybe you're in another country and, this is, around 6 p.m. Your time, 6 p.m. Your time, and then 9 a.m. our time. So we need your email address so we can contact with you directly. So if this goes out, we'll just go over to Rumble, because we do have a Rumble. We have a Rumble Innervision FM TV. We have a Getter. We have a Getter Innervision FM. Because with all this submerging of free speech, how long do you want to put up with this and still be a part of this community of two blind guys? And we're talking about issues that affect us and affect everyone in our little world here. Okay, so we want you to be a part of our community. So like this, share this, and subscribe to this. But remember, send us that email, info@innervisionfm.com, so you can become a part of this community. Okay? All right.
Also get a newsletter just in case, we decide to go ahead and move and exclusively broadcast only on certain platforms.
Mm-hmm.
The newsletter is also important to sign up for. So to sign up or to become a sponsor, InnervisionRecords.org. So that's one word, INNER visionrecords.org. And you can set it up that way. Where do you want to start?
Well, we want to thank our sponsors. Christian Brothers Moving Company, located in Englewood, Texas, Phoenix. Also, Dr. Richard Damiano, Littleton Eye Consultant, who does corneal transplants and other cosmetic things as well. And let's see, Denver Foundation and the Wells Fargo, and then the other one I keep forgetting, the Colorado
Arts Relief Fund.
I don't know why this is something about that name. But anyways, we want to thank those people. Also, because it's voting season, I'm running for HD5. So go to my website, Johnnie J for Colorado House District 5.com. I know it's a long web address, but hey, it is what it is. And what can I say? And I think, and then knowyourjudge.org, go to that. And the movie 2000 Mules, check that out.com. And let's see, UncleTom2.com as well. Okay, there we go. Now, as you see, like the title is about Prince and Sinead OConnor. And I want to get into that, and then we're going to talk. And let's see, did you get a chance to look at the other topics, Alan?
I saw the main one, the Sinead O'Connor topic. I saw, no.
Okay, let me bring that one up because let's see, my mind is so many things going on this morning.
Yeah, I got a few things myself. Got a few appointments and things to get set up.
Yes, so I'm bringing that and the is like people are asking, what do you have all going on? Oh, Lizzo. Let's talk about Lizzo.
Yeah,
and I heard those women, and with some women talking about, well, men shouldn't say this, and women shaming. And then there's a new song out called Glory. Oh man, I should have put that in the it's about models, and I should have put that in there, talking about that song, because she said the song says she's looking at these magazines and she didn't realize that these are just something made up by guys, and it's not really a real image of what a woman's body is. But I like there's two things that Kanye West said in that interview, that the food, they call it the food and drug. Why are those connected together, food and drug? And I always like to tell my daughters and everybody else, because after you eat the food that they recommend, then you need the drugs to to make you their ATM machine, because the drug is not getting to the root of the problem. It's just making you desperate enough, making you feel bad enough when you keep coming back to the doctor for drugs so you can cover up.
You're talking about nothing less than the word pharmacia being somehow related to making potions and being some sort of on the par of being an alchemist and control and this kind of thing. I mean, there's a big rabbit hole you could go down with this. You got the FDA, the Food and Drug administration. And why are they connected? Well, control food and control the symptom suppressing agents, and you control quite a bit of things. And, if you induce a certain amount of things that are treated by this other thing, then obviously you're going to make a whole boatload of cash doing it. Yeah. And that's short term. Long term is geopolitical engineering.
Yeah, and I made me think about this because I have a granddaughter who's 12 years old, and when I gave her a hug, because I haven't seen her in a long time, she felt like she was all puffed up.
Puffed up?
Yeah, it was almost like her weight problem wasn't just a normal weight, like thickness or whatever. It was like she was puffed up, as if her liver was trying to fight off something, and was just saying, okay, I can't work with this, so let me just put it over here. Can't work with this, let me just put it over there. And it's almost like, and I'm trying to get my daughter, my oldest daughter, who's an alcoholic, to see what's going on. And she gets offended when I talk to her about my granddaughter's weight. I said, she has to eat more vegetables. She has to do, it's not just exercise, it's what she is consuming.
Putting in, right.
All the sugars, the sodas, and it is affecting her where she is puffed up. And then this is going to lead to other problems in her female anatomy and so forth.
There's
and then doctors, the solution, let's cut it off. Let's cut it out.
Yep.
Right? Instead of
there's an industry based upon this whole theory that goes into medicines and that kind of thing. That really wasn't on a topics list, but this one's free, and it's fun, I suppose, if you like fun like that. But it is interesting. I mean, it's wow. I mean, and then of course you got the scandal industry itself. The sky is falling. Big Brother's watching. People are recording. All kinds of crazy stuff. And you just never know. But the bottom line being is God's in control of all this stuff anyway. And we're taught to have peace and to be calm in the middle of this, quote, storm. And boy, it's getting stormy. It's getting, you've got all these blah, blah, blah engineering projects. Take your pick, from geopolitical to seismic to geo anything. Just put geo and put a word in there, and you got engineering at the end of it. Boy, it's a lot of fun, man. I remember growing up, I wanted to be an engineer, but I was just worried about being a train engineer. Didn't know there were so many engineers, man. Until Star Trek, Scotty was a good engineer. What eating, Captain? Powder,
but getting back to this food thing. So I understand what he was saying at first. He said, they're trying to kill black people. Okay, yeah. It might have started there, but now it's everywhere.
Oh yeah, man, that's it's everywhere in your food, everywhere.
Yeah, and
Are we going to cover what you told me about this morning, or what?
About the cars?
Oh, about the food.
Yeah. What did I tell you this about the food?
Well, there's just a certain. We don't want to mention the
McDonald's.
Oh, that place. Wow. Oh,
yes.
Want to place.
Okay. We just call it the jab is going to be put in your Happy Meal. Yes.
A little extra happiness with your Happy Meal, a little secret sauce.
And if you want to hear more about this, if you go to Chris James, A Healthy Alternative, I think it's called A Healthy Alternative, the AHA community.com, the AHA DBInnervisionFM.com. Sign up for their email list. And I get no money from these guys or whatever. But when he talked about this, and he'll send you a newsletter. He sent me a newsletter, and I looked at the video, and it said, McDonald's will soon be putting the jab in your Big Mac, Quarter Pounders, and Happy Meals. And you know that, when you go to McDonald's, the food is so cheap. And, you might go there and say, well, I can't afford to go to a restaurant. I don't like to cook at home. But what he was saying in there, he was saying, like, find a local farmer who grass feed. If you got to eat meat, go. And I was going to tell my daughter this because, like I said, when I was at the birthday party this weekend, my stepson's wife was frying up these pork chops, and just the grease just really turned me on because I grew up with my mother always putting grease in everything, and it's just like it hurt my stomach, but I was young. But my dad, I would see him in the bathroom, sitting on the bathroom floor after eating her meals, and I don't know how he couldn't. He was so busy bringing in the money, he didn't think about maybe she's killing me with this food. How do I fix it? So because he was busy working, doing all these other things, and he let her take care of the food. But if it's hurting you that bad, and that you see these comedy shows, Green Acres, Ava Gabor, and she cooked something and it's like hard as a rock, and they joke about it, right? Yeah. And I think that was the beginning of when women who didn't know how to cook for health, but just put things together and put grease in it and whatever because they thought that made it taste better, and maybe it did. I know that was a joke on those TV shows. But now looking at that my father's he had an open heart surgery and had to clean out his clogs, and that's the biggest industry. And this one anesthesiast guy, which he got out of being anesthesia, and he got into helping people clear up this thing. He said he would be, putting the people to sleep, and then the doctor would cut open the chest, and then he would pull out, as they're doing the bypass, he would pull out this long white string, and the guy says, well, what is that? He said, well, that's the fat from the chicken or the steak that the guy ate, and he's pulling out this string. And I'm saying, whoa. But that's $1 billion, should I say, is it $1 million or is it $1 billion industry of cracking somebody open and pulling out strings of fat from their heart veins, and then redirecting.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm watching this and I'm thinking, like, everybody knows this. Not everybody watches this stuff. And so I was trying to tell my daughter this weekend, but she was drunk. So I got to wait until she's sober. Because, everybody was in the party mood. And my wife said, did you talk to your granddaughter about this? And I said, sometimes my personality is overwhelming to people.
Yeah.
So sometimes I can't tell them all that's in my head because they said, wait a minute, we're here just to party. I got my liquor here. I got my shots here. And this.
Have a good time. They don't want to hear.
So I said, I talked about so much, but I got to give them pieces.
Yeah. All you can do is plant a seed,
Right.
move on, hope for the best, give it to God, and, see what happens.
So so when I heard that about the pulling out the string, and as an anesthesia, that changed his mind. Said, I don't want to sit here watching these operations like this when I know the answer to that, and if the people, if they're desperate enough, they'll do it. If they're not, then bye-bye, see you on the other side. But I just thought that was my dad. But and my mother, it would be a can of lard in the middle of the stove. Lard, grease. And if you cooked eggs, you put that lard in there. If you cook, we used to love pork and beans and
Collard
hamburger meat.
greens, pork and beef, anything.
Lard, spaghetti. I used to compare like spaghetti. I used to equate spaghetti and what's that called? Spaghetti and heartburn together. I thought I would never be able to eat spaghetti because I would get this terrible stomach ache. And my dad, I would see him in the bathroom, but it would taste delicious. Cornbread, spaghetti, meatballs. But afterwards, I was a wreck. And my dad, because he was older, he was even more of a wreck. Right? But my mother, she said, "Oh, I don't eat the food. I just cook it." And she lived to be 96. And
What is
so people, Chris James, a healthy alternative. He's talking about fasting, but he's also and some go to some of these raw food websites.
We're not promoting anybody, by the
Yeah,
way.
we're not promoting anybody, but just
Anybody,
these are just people I've
just people that he
yeah
likes.
yeah, and so and if you're gonna eat meat. And there's a company here in Colorado. I listened to it on KLZ radio. So if you want to find the commercial, you can go to either Kim Monson, Kim, and that's Monson, Monson. Yeah, show on KLZ, and she has a website. John Rush, Rush for Reason. He has a website, and they do on Wednesday. Man,
Not
we're gonna have to.
promoting you
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. We
We're doing that.
gotta start getting some of these people on our show
Yeah,
because
that'd be fun.
yeah, because uh oh man, what because
Grassroots musicians, that's where it's at.
yes,
Recording artists, whether they're recording artists in the basement with a piece of software or whatever they got going on, man. Whether they got like old style musical instruments, it doesn't matter, man. Info at InnervisionFM.com. That's where it's at.
yeah, and this is like blind issues. I mean, this is stuff that as blind people, we think about, and we're just putting it out there. So our show, it's just the information from a blind perspective. So the Lizzo, Prince wasn't fat shaming Lizzo. He was just
Right?
saying that when she loses 10 pounds, these bots they come out and they start attacking her for losing
Losing the weight.
weight. But when she went on TikTok and she did this thing and she did this, her favorite food was this fried. I'm not sure what it was, but it was something deep and fried, and so that got lots and lots of life. And how they're promoting, and I saw this even when I was watching TV shows back then, and they were complaining about when they put on these comedy shows with black people, why you put like these black women that are so overweight? How are you going to put in any slender women? You're making it seem like that's if you want to be on TV on a comedy show. Okay.
Cool.
Oh, by the way, this is a guest I was going to invite on tomorrow about the Ukraine situation. So she says she has a meeting at 9 o'clock. So we may record an interview with her later and then air it later as a special premiere. 'Cause she went out there to volunteer with the Ukraine thing.
Wow, that's cool.
So, so it's not that he's fat shaming her, but he's talking about, and most of the people who didn't or who got the jab, most of the people that were dying of the planned pandemic were people that had diabetes, people that were overweight, and if the food is causing you to be overweight and to be unhealthy, why not try to find out the root of the problem and reverse the problem? Is what I'm trying to get to about Lizzo. And I saw this woman come there and say, "I love her body." It's like great that you love her body, and there's men that love, some countries, the bigger you are, that's a sign of like health and wealth.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but in America, with all this propaganda, all this processed food, and why is it that prostate cancer is the leading cause of death in the black community? Maybe because they eat all this bologna and cut and process this and process that. Come on, people, we got to think.
Well,
Okay.
it is interesting because we have to think more than ever because now we've got the alternative of eating bugs on top of the mix of just trying to even find some real food. It's also interesting that there's a shortage of everything going down the pipe. You know, it's interesting.
Yeah, and also Margaret Zinger. He talked about her and her eugenics. And I saw like a Mike Wallace interview with her, and I love the way they used to do interviews. Mike Wallace isn't his son Chris Wallace? No comparison. Chris Wallace can't even lift a candle to his dad. And
So this interview that he had with
with
Margaret
Margaret
Zinger,
Zinger. Oh man, I mean, he just really. And then he asked her, like, "Well, you said in our pre-interview this," and she said, "Well, did I say that?" And I've got to be like, if you said it, why don't you remember you said it? You look it up, Chris Wallace, and it's on YouTube. Chris Wallace and Margaret Zinger, right? And then they had this other doctor that said, "Well, now they're now saying that they're part of the legacy of Margaret Zinger is eugenics, which was said that we need to eliminate black people, brown people, and poor people and disabled people." And they want to pull away from that, and maybe that's why they took her name off of the New York Family Planning Center there and the other places, because if you Google her, you find out, especially if you're a black person, and he was saying like 50% of the abortions in New York, there are more abortions by black women than black women having babies in New York. So it's like a genocide. So they wanted to point out Lizzo. They said, "Look over here. Don't look over there. Look over here at Lizzo. He's fat shaming." No, let's go deeper into what was. And so they pick and choose what they're putting out there. So you don't look at this over here. You look over, oh, Lizzo, he's fat shaming. No, he's not fat shaming. He's talking about a combined thing. And anyone who's eating too much, there's a reason that your body is starving and you're trying to feed it, and you got to eat more of these processed things to try to quench that hunger in your side, and it's just more and more and more. And they put sugar and fructose so you can drink more, eat more, drink more, eat more, eat
it's
more.
interesting, Johnny, because they actually put stuff into foods that make you hungry, make you this, make you that, so that you eat more. And then they these pills that get right to the root of the problem. They've got some fat, whatever pills that will dissolve the fat. You poop out your excess stuff that you eat, or sugars. For instance, you're diabetic, so you can take this certain pill and you can eat all the sugar you want. Actually, you can't, but you do anyway. And you're controlling your stuff with a certain pill.
Yeah. Now, let's get to the next topic. Janet Griswold
Yeah.
accidentally sent out 30,000 ballots to illegals. Yay!
Well, I guess
Accidentally.
they're getting ready to get the right to vote anyway. Right. Anyway, it could be, so we'll see.
Yeah.
This
So
is
now she's saying she's gonna send out another, spending our taxpayers' money, to tell them that was a mistake. Don't vote. But who's gonna stop them if there's no identification? If you just have to bring in a public service bill to prove that you live at this residence, but it doesn't have a picture ID that says that you are either a citizen or not. By the way, tonight at 6 o'clock, and I didn't put the link in. I tried to put the link in here, but it gave me too much information. There's going to be a debate between Janet Griswold and Pam Anderson. Pam Anderson, remember, she sat on the board of Zuckerberg, Dropbox, nonprofits that were supporting the Dropboxes, which 2,000 Mules. If you watch that, you'll find out more about that. And she's now on vacation relief from those nonprofits. So whether you vote for Janet Griswold or Pam Anderson, I don't know. If it's almost like Wayne Williams, the Republican guy, was a rhino. Then they got in a Democrat. She's only the 10th woman to be Secretary of State here in Colorado. Now they want to get much of the same. And then I heard stuff about Pam Anderson's mother, who was like a political hack as well. But the debate will be tonight at 6 p.m. And then there's going to be something else at 6 p.m., which I'm going to go to, which, too many things going on at 6 p.m. tonight, Alan.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So anyway, those are our first two. Now let's go to Prince, the main topic. I know you guys been waiting. I'm sorry, but this is what happens when you. It's almost like.
Man, he was formerly known as Prince for a while, and he was known as Symbol.
Yes.
Then he came back, and he's Prince again.
Yes.
But he was a good guitar player, and towards the end of his life, he gave his life to Christ, and so at least that's what I understand.
Yes. I mean, he went off into the Jehovah's Witness thing for a while. Larry Graham of the Sly and the Family Stone sort of led him that way, and then he got back on track.
Wow. Huh.
I'm telling you more than.
So anyway, wrote a song, and it's called "Nothing Compares" or something.
Nothing compares to you.
To you? Yeah.
Yes, and then Sinead OConnor, that was her first hit record in 1990, but he had released another version with another lady, and I forgot the name of the lady, but which they said was the better version of the song, and so I guess Sinead on September 30th put out a documentary about her life, and they entitled it "Nothing Compares to You," because and so instead of they just show the video and then they just have them talking over it, because the half sister of Prince said and running the estate, she says no, because Sinead did an interview with reporters, and Prince wasn't into like cussing and stuff like that, right, as a Christian, and he called for her to have a meeting with him at the Paisley Park. Okay. Well, I guess he wanted her to have some hospitality. Here's some soup and stuff like that. And his butler kept on saying, "Well, Mr. Prince, here's the soup for Sinead OConnor." But she didn't want to eat any soup. She said, "I'm here. Well, let's talk, whatever." And I guess it was sort of like turning her off when he started, berating her about her cussing. Because she's an artist, she's not a Christian. She's just, she's doing her thing.
She wants, right?
She's from Ireland. She doesn't know that, she doesn't see the difference. She's like a rapper. They that's what they do.
Right.
So then she says, "Well, what if we have a pillow fight?" Then it started going south, because there's an episode in Hogan Hero when the Nazi says, "Well, we're supreme over everybody," and they had the black guy box with one of their German guys. Well, they put a metal thing in his boxing gloves, so when he hit, I forgot the black guy's name in Hogan Hero. When he hit him, it's like metal hitting his rib, and he says. Then they say, okay, then. Hogan says, "Okay, stay away from it as much as you can," and then because they were trying to sabotage something with the Germans and stuff like that, and then so he stayed away from, and then then when it was time, he clipped the guy. Boom, knocked him out. Right?
Okay.
But they had to cheat using something. Now, I'm not saying Prince did this. This is allegedly, she said that he put something in his pillow so that when he hit her with the pillow, it was harder than a pillow. Allegedly. So she's talked about this in an interview. And
Well, he dead, so he can't defend himself.
then after that, Then after that, well, this came out of an interview a long time ago. So then after that, she ran out of the house, and he drove his car looking for her, ran a car, and so that wasn't, and so she told about this. So I said, I guess whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and whatever happens at Paisley Park stays in Paisley Park. But like I said, Prince is not alive to defend himself.
Right.
So this is all allegedly what happened.
Well,
Right.
the idea being that forgiveness is a really good thing to exercise, no matter what does happen, because the person in question could not be around any longer. And so, therefore, it's still eating you, but they dead. It don't matter to them. So,
Yes. So
bottom line is just forgive.
yeah,
Father in heaven won't forgive you of your sins. So,
definitely. Oh,
Wanted
and I'm reading the book of James this week.
Yeah.
And so digging into that, and I got a meeting at 45 after, so it's 36 after now. Hey, we thank you guys for joining us. Don't forget, even though PayPal made a mistake and said they were going to charge $2,500 if you say something they don't like, they have now reversed that. So PayPal me/Intervision Denver, or you can go to my Cash App, which is Intervision capital J. It's $, Intervision capital J. All right,
you
you
read
can
a
do
book
that.
real quick, 6 Shades of Blindness.
Yes.
Also got a movie out there called Even Me. So
Yes.
you just tossed that out there the other day. So
Yes.
check out the first blind film producer in Colorado back in the 90s.
Yes. So we're gonna call it a day, and